I'll go quickly through like some of the functionality we have in the backend. So we've got a bunch of different access control methods, and these are all pluggable. So you can we can do the token gating. So you can say a specific token on a specific chain. In this example, it was Link, but it could be anything else. It could be USDC, it could be NFTs, it could be governance tokens, it could even be staked governance tokens, right? So this is unlocking the people who've staked their governance token so they can vote when normally they wouldn't be able to, right? So how do we get these people's voices heard? And because it's pluggable, that means that you can deploy a new smart contract that performs access control and then use it from then on, right? So this isn't functionality that's fixed in stone. This is plug and play, customizable, whatever you want to do, right? Some of the functionality is like baked into the protocol. So like the privacy options, that's all baked in for various reasons, and the time limit as well. It's just some basic stuff that we needed. And this is all open source. You can go to github.com/Oasis protocol/dap-blockvote. And just to give you like a quick example, so we've got the poll manager. So this is the app, the smart contract that you create polls through. Then that creates an infinite number of polls. So you can create as many as you want with various different settings. You can control who's allowed to deploy to create polls. So if you do want to deploy your own instance of this, you can have much more fine-grained control over who's allowed to even create polls in the first place. And of course, the pluggable ACL, so it follows a poll interface. And the poll interface, that you basically get some callbacks, right? So when the poll's created, it calls the ACL and says, hey, I created a poll. When the poll's closed or destroyed, you also get a callback. And the most important thing is, so can a user vote on the poll? And that allows you to pass in extra data. So the way we're doing cross-chain voting is we're getting the proof, and we're passing in as extra data to the ACL. And of course, the can vote on poll returns the weight as well. So you can decide whichever weighting scheme you want. You could have multiple tokens, you could have some kind of quadratic voting, that kind of thing. And for the cross-chain stuff, so we're using ETH get proof behind the scenes. So for that, you do need to have an archive node, and public RPCs like Infura support ETH get proof for most of the chains, but others like Alchemy don't, right? So if you're trying to do these trustless cross-chain proofs, it does matter which RPC provider you use, or you might have to run your own Ethereum nodes, for example. So anyway, yeah, we can prove that a block matches its hash. We can prove that an account exists within the block. And then you can then prove that some value in storage exists within that account. And so it's a quick diagram, and we're running through like the different contracts. So this is, of course, if you want to see more details, you can go and check the repo out. But in the example here, so in the contract, we have a mapping, which is the token balance of the user. And all we're doing is we're saying in this contract, this block, this mapping has this address mapped to that value. And and that's how we're doing snapshot voting. So, and of course, with privacy on Sapphire, you can do encrypted call data and transactions. You've got private storage and contracts, and now you've got private cross-chain proofs. And the only problem is, like on Sapphire, it's all private, but the RPC server can see which storage value you're trying to retrieve. So this is one of the problems with privacy. If you have a privacy bubble, there might be things outside of the privacy bubble, like infrastructure you rely on, that can give away information. Of course, with voting, it's not that high stakes for an opinion poll, and someone's probably not going to be monitoring or have any way to exploit that information. But in other situations, it can have a big impact. So yeah, please check out the app. It was working yesterday, and it's I'm not having a favorable opinion of the gods at the moment. But we also have the source code is on GitHub, so please check that out. You can fork it, fork the contracts. It's under a very permissive license that allows you to use whatever you want to use with it, just you can't use the Oasis trademark as part of it.